Last Blood earns a hard R rating according to Sylvester Stallone. That is the headline on this week's MBE Movie News.
Yes, Stephen, this one is coming in from Screen Rant, and the actor himself, obviously Sly, and his official Instagram account.
Yeah.
He has said that, "Great day, we got our hard R rating today. What's coming is going to be unlike anything you've ever seen. Death is coming," John said. Now, obviously that's John Rambo, that's not Sly Stallone, who, I know the lines blur slightly, Stephen, with Sly and John, because he's just so synonymous with that character.
Yes.
But, Stephen, what do you make of this? Obviously, I think the previous John Rambo, I think it was Rambo just on its own from 2008, had an R rating.
Yeah, rightly so.
It was a very, very viscerally violent movie. We both really enjoyed that, Stephen.
Yeah, I liked it.
Do you think this is boding well for the movie? Do you think this is the right rating for this movie?
Yeah, it's a franchise that's had a rocky road, John, and that was, I think, the third one. I don't know. I'm not sure if that had an R rating. I think that.
I'd have to go back and look.
I think that may have been a 15. I'm not sure. Over here, anyway. I'm not sure, or if it was lower than that. But just going back to the news, John. Yes, I'm definitely delighted with that. I think I like John Rambo, the 2008 version.
Yeah.
That kind of character in the storyline and his background. You don't want that watered down, what he's been through, and obviously what he goes through in these movies. That's always something I've felt the Terminator franchise has suffered for when they don't get the hard ratings. The first Terminator film over here in the UK was an 18 rating, I'm pretty sure. If it wasn't, it was a 15. But since then, they've kind of been watered down to... I think that Terminator 3 might have been a 12 A or something like that.
That's just wrong.
And the story suffers because of it.
Yeah.
These films are made for adults, you know, but when the studio's involved and they want to, obviously put this out to a wider audience, the ratings suffer. In this case, I think it's the right thing to do because this is it's a very, obviously, a passion project over the last 40 years for Sylvester Stallone. And as I said, the first two Rambo films were fantastic. The third one kind of dipped. Then the 2008 one, it went back to its roots with the violence. That's what these films are about. There's no point doing this kind of genre and half-hearted doing it. You've got to get right in and you've got to show all the blood and guts because that's what it's all about. It's about this veteran. And what he's went through, not just physically but mentally as well, what he's suffered and how that's impacted his life going forward, and that's what the Rambo character's all about.
Yes, Stephen, I absolutely agree. I've actually went back and looked at the different Rambo releases.
I'm probably all wrong.
No, you're not, actually. The first two were 15. Rambo 3 was an 18.
Oh, I got that wrong then.
Yeah, Rambo from 2008 was obviously R-rated. This one coming out this year is R-rated. You're right about Terminator though, that first Terminator release was an 18, so obviously that was just an incredible movie, one of the all-time greats. And certainly the first Rambo, Stephen, that's probably the iconic one really, obviously First Blood.
So Rambo 3, it was nothing to do with ratings, it was just a bad story.
Yeah, it's just a bad story. Yeah, and obviously they've probably tried to overcompensate, and they've probably in their heart of hearts known, Stephen, that the plot was below par, subpar, and they've tried to overcompensate with maybe a more grisly story and obviously up in the ratings.
I think as well, John, when the First Blood came out, I remember there was a terrible incident down south, down in England that is, that the film, there was a shooting in a village in England, mass shooting.
First Blood,
and a lot of people were saying that, the sort of idea that came from First Blood. It was ridiculous. But I can remember that film being banned in the UK, certainly on television for a good amount of years because of that incident. It shows you how far we came though as a society. We can detach ourselves from reality and obviously film. That's why.
Like to think so?
Well, I would like to think so, John, and that's why I'm glad to see this because, the smart people have taken the right approach here and said, we're giving this an R rating, blood and guts galore here. And we're going to tell the story the proper way because we know the difference between film and real life.
Stephen, one of my fondest memories as a young boy, probably about, I think it was maybe 10 or 11, when Saving Private Ryan came out. I mind watching that movie. I was a young guy. It didn't bother me at all. I can distinguish between a movie and real life. And I think it
but
brings you into the experience all the more. It makes it all the more vivid, all the more visceral and real.
But it makes you appreciate, it makes you appreciate what these guys went through as well, John, in the real wars in the real world. This is what these films are based on. Rambo, of course, is an exaggeration of that.
Yeah, of course.
You know, the character itself is, you know, it's about a veteran that's he's tried to fit back into society, and he just doesn't know how to, and you know, and everything that he saw, everything he's been through, mentally and physically, the torture he went through in these countries, it's affected him, and he's really just trying to see his life out in the most sort of normal way that he can, you know, see fit.
And Stephen, I think it's really important to do ratings for movies like this, and just try and convey to the audience how visceral the violence is in conflict, so that you don't glorify war too much, because some people just are itching all the time. They have their finger on the trigger and they're just itching to go to war and warmonger. So I think it's important to convey to the wider audience, perhaps teenage audience who are growing up, just how violent it is, the realities of life. You're not invincible, you can die. And
how that has an effect on this character.
And you also see that in the trailer, Stephen. He does a great line about people being around him, family that he loved dearly. Some stuck around, some have barely enough left to obviously hold on to. I'm paraphrasing massively here, but
I've only watched that trailer once, John, but I do know, I recall that.
You're absolutely right, Stephen, what you're saying about the character. It's just how it's haunted him. He's trying to fit back into society, but he's been drawn back in again and again, much like John Wick. He can't really get away from his
especially in that first film, John, where society rejected him. You know, in that, the sheriff, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, Brian Dennehy, I think his name was, just did not want that character hanging about his town. No. It doesn't matter, you know, what he's done in Nam or whatever like that. You know, he just doesn't want to see that kind of drifter coming into his town. And this is how these things kick off, and that's just like a tip off the iceberg. And again, that's an accurate, obviously, portrayal of real life, Stephen, because we have seen time and again, World War I, World War II, veterans coming back from the conflict and really struggling to adapt to civilian life and get back into their old ways. And it really does screw a lot of people up. They have obviously post-traumatic stress and a lot of things haunting them. So it's great to see these stories being told. Even today, it's not lacking any more emotional meaning for people today. You've got more veterans coming back and really struggling. So it's always something that's going to connect with that demographic. Final thing I will throw in, Stephen, is an R-rated movie. A good R-rated movie is no barrier to violence and great storytelling through that sort of I want to say scope. I was about to say kaleidoscope, but that's John Lennon singing in Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. But you see the likes of Green Room. Yeah. That was a really, really violent movie. I recall that. That was the one with Patrick Stewart and Anton Yelchin. Yeah. I recall a dog biting someone's hand off. Yep. You've got the likes of The Babadook and all right down The Conjuring. I don't recall The Conjuring being all that violent, but it's no The Hostel. The Hostel was The Human Centipede. 28 Days Later, Mulholland Drive. So The Fight Club. So you understand what I'm saying, Stephen. It's no barrier to violence and just great storytelling. And I feel like, once again, without repeating myself, it's the correct rating for this movie. I think as well, ratings are based on language as well, aren't they? Yeah. It's not just obviously graphic scenes or anything like that, but you can't have someone in that kind of background and that kind of life not swearing and stuff like that, you know. And certainly in this one, Stephen, it looks like he's really got the odds stacked against him. There's a whole lot of people coming after him. He's essentially taking on the cartels all on his lonesome, so can't wait to see it. A lot of swearing and a lot of violence, I'd imagine. Yeah. Listen, we'll move on though, John, to our next article. Yes. And this is, I think both of us agreed on this one. We were big fans of the character back in the day, from 1999 to 2002. Yeah. It was, of course, the Austin Powers trilogy. The director, Jay Roach, doubts that the fourth film will happen. It's 2002, as I said, was Gold Members release. We both went to see that, if you, as you recall, John, laughed our heads off at the time. I've not watched it since, I've got to be honest with you. What do you think of this? Because this was something that I remember when Mike Myers and the other chap, can't remember his name, played Garth. Can't remember. I was actually watching a video of him the other week there. He's a great impressionist. Can't remember his name. But the both of them did a sketch on Saturday Night Live a few years ago. I think it was celebrating its 40th anniversary, if I recall. And they reprised their roles as, you know, Wayne and Garth. Yeah. And it was great. It was good to see these characters back on our screens, but it made me think I'm kind of glad they didn't go down the road of doing a third movie. Very much the same as doing a fourth Austin Powers movie. A lot of people, it says it in this article as well, and I'd have to get back and watch them again to see if the humour and the comedy has aged at all. A lot of it was slapstick and obvious stuff. Mike Myers has got this knack for regurgitating old, gags and stuff like that throughout his movie career and throughout his sketches on Saturday Night Live as well. But it didn't really bother me at the time, but I think if I did go back, I probably would feel that way.
Stephen, you just have to look at the director's filmography, Jay Roach, to see why this wouldn't be a good idea. Certainly for me anyway, it looks like a guy who has had his day. And certainly when you look at movies post the mid-2000s, it's really ever diminishing returns. For me, as I did say, maybe people out there who absolutely adore this guy and his style of comedy, but no, for me looking at it, I can't see a movie beyond 2000 and perhaps 8, which has been all that great. He done Meet the Fockers, obviously. He done Austin Powers, as you did say, Meet the Parents. After that, it's just... So no, I don't think it's correct to go back. I'm absolutely delighted to hear that he's doubting a fourth movie will happen. No. Mike Myers is, I think, on a bit of a resurgence just now anyway, because we have seen him pop up in Bohemian Rhapsody. He was also in Inglourious Basterds prior to that. I've not heard much from the guy. I don't know what he's been doing recently. My finger has not been on the pulse.
Unless he's been doing some Shrek work or stuff like that.
Yeah, he's probably been doing Shrek,
he does think he can do a good Scottish accent.
He can. No,
but listen, back in the day, I remember 1999, I can't remember, 98, 99, no, it might have been earlier, 97 it might have been the first Austin Powers came out, stand corrected. I thought it was okay. It was one of those films that had a bit of a carry-on sort of humour to it, the sort of double entendres, that kind of thing going on. And it was kind of a novelty thing, especially I think for the US audiences who, probably weren't exposed to the carry-on films. I thought they were okay. I think one film would have been enough, to be honest with you. I don't think there was any need for any sequels. I think the International Man of Mystery would have been enough. Yeah. But nevertheless...
Not a fan of Vern Troyer, is it? What his name? Vern Troyer?
No, I mean...
His mini-me? Just the two of us?
Not really, no. I liked the Dr. Evil character, but I have heard since then that Mike Myers actually stole that from Dana Carvey.
Dana Carvey. Dana Carvey.
Yeah, he actually stole that impression from him, and they didn't talk for a while. I don't know if that's true or not, but I did hear that. And it was I think it was an impression of someone else. I can't remember who it was. It might have been the actual creator of Saturday Night Live, who his name.
That'd be incredible.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm really good at remembering names tonight. But listen, it's just one of those films. I'm glad they're not doing a fourth instalment. I've got to agree with you, John. I think it's had its shelf life. It was a part of a time just at the millennium where that kind of humour, that sort of generation got it. I don't think the generation now would be that bothered with it. I think they would see it as kind of pathetic, to be honest with you. Yeah,
Stephen, also with the rise of the Me Too thing and all of that, the feminists obviously exploding into the feminism thing, exploding onto the scene. I don't see this character connecting well with that, just the brand of humour and the way kind of I treated women and whatnot. I don't see it just going over well with current day audiences, millennials or whatever, Generation Zers. I've lost the plot. But just from the director himself, I think it's, I forgot his bloody name, Stephen, you're right, we're having a mare tonight when it comes to it. Roach.
Yeah.
He basically says...
Listen, I'm shamelessly Googling, it's actually Lorne Michaels.
Lorne Michaels.
It's the man that tried to get Lennon McCartney onto Saturday Night Live for so many millions, and they nearly did it as well.
That's right, I remember you telling that, Stephen. But basically what he said is, he always felt there was more mileage to the Dr. Evil character, but they didn't know how they would do it or how they can do it without Vern. But he's basically saying, Stephen, to cut a long story short here, because it's a very long paragraph, that if Mike cracks out and figures out a way to bring an interesting story in which will not upset the whole Me Too movement and just the feminists and the social justice warriors, then we may see it happen.
That's where we are at these days, unfortunately, John. Yeah. Where
he hasn't been busy, incidentally, Stephen. I
don't think a lot of people have got a sense of humour these days. They can't see, a joke for just being a joke now. There's always got to be some underlining sort of meaning to things now. It's just the way it is now. We're all too serious now.
Stephen, final thing I'll say, I was absolutely right. He hasn't been busy. He's been subjected to really doing small roles in obviously bigger movies like Bohemian Rhapsody. Apparently he's been hosting some movie, The Gong, or some show, The Gong Show. So he's got plenty of time in his hands. So I'm sure Mike can come up with something. If I was to pick between another Austin Powers movie and perhaps a Wayne's World 3, I think my choice would be Wayne's World 3. If they can do something similar to Bill and Ted, I've still not seen any of them. Just there's an audience there, a demographic who have connected with these characters, who love their stories and whatnot, and I think they would perhaps be more likely to go out and back a movie and make it a success, as opposed to Austin Powers, which is just a sort of a, as you did say, slapstick version of Bond, and Bond just goes on, and it has its fans. This wouldn't go over, so I'm not for it. Sadly.
No, but listen, I think, would you be keen on either if I divorced an axe murderer?
Yeah, I love that movie. That's my favourite, probably Mike Myers movie, Steve.
But anyway, we'll move on, John, to our next article. It is coming in from our very own BBC here. And it's The Irishman. We talked about it last week. We did the trailer reaction as well. Scorsese's film is to close London Film Festival. Now, we know that it's going to open 3 weeks prior to its closing in London and New York. It's going to have its closing night gala on 13th of October. Scorsese and the film stars Robert De Niro, Al Pacino and Joe Pesci are due to attend. I wish I could get a ticket for that.
Oh yeah.
Just to see those guys in person. Not even talk to them or anything like that, just see them in the horizon, you know, and just say I've seen them in real life, because
it's an opportunity, Stephen, that you probably won't get after this, because obviously Joe Pesci came out of retirement to come and do this movie, and just Robert De Niro and obviously Al Pacino are getting older, as is Martin.
We're going to talk about that, John, because actually the article shows a picture of De Niro and Scorsese with arms around each other. It just shows you how they've aged now. They're just like, they're mere mortals, so they're going to age. But then we got to the top of the article, and it's one of the screenshots from the film, and it shows you the de-aging. When I watched this scene, it's the one where they're getting kind of held back with the police. I think they're coming out of the court, it certainly looks that way, a lot of media about. When I saw that sequence, I didn't realise the de-aging, because that's the way I'm used to seeing them on the big screen, and I've not seen both of them, that is De Niro and Al Pacino.
Off screen without
exactly. You know, so when I saw the photo comparisons, it just shows you not just that scene where De Niro's on the phone. I think that was the biggest sort of, you know, obvious scene where the de-aging technique was used. I think once we see this film, you know, in October, I think it is, or November, I'm not quite sure.
I think it'll probably be late October.
Yeah, I think so.
Hopefully, Stephen, this gets a wide enough release and it hits Glasgow, so we
it's
can
going to be Netflix anyway, but I'd prefer to see this in the cinema. I think you said that last week, John. You know, it's a film that you'd rather see in the cinema.
Just the nature of it, Stephen. Just the incredible technology they've utilised. It's took them a number of years. Well. Scorsese does say that in this article. The picture was many years in the making. It was a project Robert De Niro and I started talking about a long time ago, and we wanted to make it the way it needed to be made. And obviously Netflix were the only real studio, for lack of a better word, because I know they aren't actually a traditional studio, who were willing to pony up the money to make this movie obviously be crafted, allow this movie to be made the way that these two great men had envisaged. So it's first and foremost, it's great to see that they have took their time and they are crafting it the way they like to make their movie. That's always great, and it's great to see Netflix have allowed that to happen. But Stephen, this is why I want to see it in the cinema, just because of things as what you mentioned there about the de-aging. I feel like to get the best out of this movie, I mean, I've got a big TV, I can watch it here, and I'll be quite happy doing so, but if I could get the chance to see these great actors come together with a great story, it's very interesting, I think it's very violent, and it's just an intriguing time period, as I did say, then I would love to get the opportunity to go and watch it on the big screen. And you're absolutely right about the de-aging process in and of itself, how subtle it is. We've seen obviously this done for the wow effect and obviously the MCU with Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury character, Michael Douglas's whose name
Hank Pym,
and obviously Kurt Russell's Eagle character,
Robert Downey Jr.'s
Robert Downey Jr.'s little moment as well. So we've seen the wow effect where they take it off in such a direction where it's like, wow, they are completely unrecognisable from today. But you're right, they're quite subtle with it. They're doing it over different time periods. It's going right back to they were quite young, through subtly into their current age. And I think that's probably the best thing about the de-aging process here. And that's probably why it's taken so long. The fact that there is slight elegance with the way it's been handled, and it's almost imperceivable.
I think
when I looked at that, I didn't realise.
Yeah, I think the techniques came a long way since Patrick Stewart's Moonface and Wolverine Origins.
Oh
John,
my God!
listen, I know time's pressing, and we've got a couple of more things we want to talk about just before we wrap up the show, John. 2 films are celebrating their 20th anniversary.
What a year!
This month, yeah. First, we'll talk about The Sixth Sense at 20. This smash hit remains impossible to define, says The Guardian. I've got to agree with that. It's not an out-and-out horror film. There's obviously, you know, ignoring the twist at the very end, there's a lot of, you know, psychological elements to it as well. The horror, I would probably say, comes in with some of maybe the last 30 minutes of the film where you're getting the sort of reveal unfolding. You know, you see the ghost starting to appear and stuff like that.
The little girl in the tent.
Yeah,
was it the boy?
And she's vomiting.
The one that had been shot with shotgun.
Yeah, that's when it all kicked off. I think that's where the horror element comes into it. But it's a well-crafted and acted film as well. Bruce Willis in it. This was an amazing film with Bruce Willis, Haley Joel Osment. You know, an absolute standout performance from the young lad at the time. But it was a great cast as well, John. And I went along to see it with Kevin, my brother, and my dad, and we didn't know the twist at this point. So I always remember being in the theatre, you know, and when that wedding ring drops and it rolls under the I think it's a chair, his wife is sitting on. That's when the penny dropped for us, and I always remember there was a gasp in the theatre. You know, just everybody, you know, we all got it at the same time. He's dead, you know, and it was nowadays, you know, but nowadays I think people don't really appreciate that kind of secrecy to a film's ending because of social media. This was just before, obviously, social media kicked in 1999. But what was your experience of the film, John? I don't know if you knew about the twist before you went to see it.
No, Stephen, I didn't get the chance to go and see this in cinema, sadly, but I do recall watching it for the first time, and I was absolutely transfixed by what I was seeing. As you said, it was just beautiful storytelling and just filmmaking in general. The way that the little kids' power abilities, psychic abilities, were slowly being fleshed out, and just this ongoing, overarching story with Bruce Willis's character. It was just absolutely cinematic excellence for me. It's one of the all-time great movies. Certainly probably my favourite Shyamalan movie. I just think the guy. I know he's a bit of a cult figure in filmmaking. A lot of people can't get on board with his style. They think he's a little bit too. I don't like to use the word, but masturbatory is probably the best word to describe him. He's a little bit too self-indulgent in his filmmaking, much like Tarantino, but not for me. I love the guy's storytelling. I think this is like a precursor to an Ari Aster movie, where it's so slow burn. People going about Ari Aster and his Hereditary and Midsommar, the way it envelops people into the movie, then it hits them with that emotional gut wrench at the end. This guy had done this 20 years ago, so he was the real forefather. It's one of the all-time great twists. I mean, I mind watching it, Stephen, I couldn't believe it. I was just young, I was probably 10 years old, and it really did shock me to my core. It's just an incredible movie, and that's really started my affinity with this man Shyamalan. From then on, I've been following the guy's work ever since. Glad to see he's on a renaissance. Just an incredible film. It's just a real regret of mine that I couldn't get to see it in the movie, the cinema at the time, or the theatre. Talking
about directors, John, the Wachowskis. Used to be called the Wachowski brothers, but they're just called the Wachowskis now.
They're now the Wachowski sisters, I think.
I don't know. I've lost the plot on that one, John. But The Matrix, this film is 20 years old as well. Can't believe it. This is a film I did not go to see in the cinema, regrettably, because I didn't know too much about it. You know, I was 1999. I was 23, and I was more fixated on The Sixth Sense, and prior to that in the summer it would have been The Phantom Menace. This film for me, I'm embarrassed to say this, kind of went under the radar for me, and it wasn't until the DVD release came out that I got to see the movie. Stephen, I'm the same. I didn't know anything about it until its release, and afterwards I just remember becoming engrossed in the Hugo Weaving character. I also get his name, Agent Smith, Agent Smith, Agent Smith, and obviously Mr. Anderson being played by Thomas Anderson,
Yes, Thomas Anderson, the great Keanu Reeves. One of the all-time great movies, Stephen. It's coming back into cinemas apparently over in the States. All the cinemas, AMC theatres, will be showing it to, obviously, I was about to say commiserate or commemorate, but I think commemorate would be the best word. It's 20th anniversary. Celebrate
for Reloaded and Revolutions, but certainly not the
I
original
liked
film.
Reloaded. That's a secret movie I really enjoy, Stephen. I know a lot of people hate
Guilty
it. Nowhere
pleasure, yeah.
near as good as the first one, but Revolutions was just terrible. I need to right that wrong.
It
But
still
Stephen,
goes over my head.
I would love to see this movie in a cinema. I would love to go back and see it.
I know.
I'm going to admit, I've never seen the original Star Wars trilogy in the theatres either. I know you went to see it for these special editions.
Yeah.
This is right up there with them for a movie that I would love to experience in the theatre. Just a fantastic movie, just the way they were utilising the cameras, multiple cameras to do that iconic sort of a gun bullet evading
Bullet
effect.
time, yeah.
Just amazing. It was a film before its time, and I mean being absolutely obsessed with it back in the day. I had the games and everything, just an incredible movie. Sadly, it didn't end the way we would have all liked it to have done, but hey ho.
We're talking about
It's a great
bringing it
movie,
back. So, listen, John, I could talk about The Matrix all night, as you know, but obviously time's pressing. But one thing's for sure, if it does come out here, I certainly will be keeping my eyes peeled, and I certainly will be going along to see it. I know you will be. But listen, that's all we've got time for on this week's MBE Movie News. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us, and we'll be back again tomorrow with the Blog Rundown.